like PSPF, available on www.pspf.org.zm. Download the mobile app on Google Play Store and App Store, or use the USSD code *3434# for easy access to all pension services. Public Service Pensions Fund, keeping the pension promise.
The news.
Hello and welcome to the news. My name is Mwema Shanshima. The headlines. Minister of Mines and Mineral Development Paul Kabuswe has reaffirmed the government's commitment to inclusive development, noting the formalization of mining activities, bringing dignity and sustainable prosperity to local residents. The Non-Governmental Gender Organizations Coordinating Council, NGOCC, has issued concerns following the United States' decision to withdraw development aid from Zambia, cautioning that the move could severely impact women and girls across the country. The government has formally allocated 114 hectares of land for a landmark of $1.1 billion oil refinery project in Ndola, a move expected to reinvigorate the region's industrial profile and attract major investment. Zambia bowed out of the Continental Futsal Championship 2025 following a close 3-2 defeat to Australia in their final Group B clash at the Central Stadium Gym. Join me for the details shortly.
The news. 88.5 Sun FM.
In a significant move to empower local communities, the Zambian government has launched the artisanal miners formalization exercise in Mfumbwe district. The event was marked by a courtesy visit to His Royal Highness Chief Mukumbi Kizela of the Kaonde-speaking people. Leading the delegation were Northwestern Province Minister Robert Liufi and Mines Minister Paul Kabuswe, accompanied by UPND party officials and various stakeholders. The initiative aims to transform the economic landscape of the Kikonge area by equipping operatives with gold mining licenses. Through this process, the New Dawn government, under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema, seeks to integrate artisanal and small-scale miners into the formal mining sector, ensuring that communities become genuine stakeholders in Zambia's mineral wealth. Mr. Kabuswe reaffirmed the government's commitment to inclusive development, noting that the formalization of mining activities will bring dignity and sustainable prosperity to local residents. He emphasized that the initiative reflects the administration's vision of economic transformation driven by grassroots participation. Stakeholders have expressed optimism that the program will enhance transparency, improve safety standards, and promote responsible resource management. The visit to Chief Mukumbi Kizela underscored the importance of traditional leadership in fostering community engagement and cooperation. The formalization exercise is expected to usher in a new chapter for artisanal mining in Zambia, turning it into a vehicle for empowerment and national growth. The Non-Governmental Gender Organizations Coordinating Council, NGOCC, has issued concerns following the United States' decision to withdraw development aid from Zambia, cautioning that the move could severely impact women and girls across the country. Speaking at a high-level symposium on global geopolitical shifts, NGOCC Executive Director Annie Mbewe said the reduction in support threatens progress in reproductive health, education and economic empowerment. Ms. Mbewe emphasized that Zambia's civil society sector is increasingly fragile and vulnerable to instability as international partnership diminish. She called for a re-evaluation of foreign aid conditions and urged the government to prioritize inclusive decision-making, especially involving women and youth and persons with disabilities. She warned that failure to manage these geopolitical shifts could have long-lasting consequences for Zambia's social cohesion and economic trajectory.
Secondly, I think it's a time when inclusion is very, very important. If we're talking about facing challenges, then we must ensure that all those that will be affected by those challenges must be at the table. And who are those? It's everybody. It's ensuring the gender inclusion, it's ensuring that persons with disabilities, ensuring their youth, that everybody is involved in determining the solutions and is involved also in monitoring how we do as a country. We must always remember that there are differentiated impacts of anything that happens in the different groups. If we have a reduction in aid, for example, it will affect women differently, men differently, boys, girls, persons with disabilities. I won't go into detail now, but I will give examples. For example, the withdrawal from health will affect maternal health care. It will affect sexual reproductive health. It will affect even the decision for women to have children when they should, if we do not have contraceptives, for example.
At the same event, Ambassador Lazarus Kapembwa, a seasoned international relations expert, urged Zambia to adopt a more strategic and interest-driven approach to diplomacy. He stressed that outcomes on the global stage are secured through negotiation, not entitlement, and called for the deployment of skilled negotiators over politically appointed envoys. Ambassador Kapambwe also advocated for the professionalism of Zambia's diplomatic corps to ensure the country remains competitive in a rapidly evolving global landscape.
I am seeing concepts such as investment diplomacy, economic diplomacy, and I'll tell you that those are just fancy tags. In reality, there is only one diplomacy. And that diplomacy is about who is the best trained diplomat and how they are facilitated and how well their national interest is defined. If you have good, well-trained diplomats, well-defined national interests, your diplomats are going to be adaptive enough.
The symposium themed Zambia in a Shifting World Order, Strategic Responses to Global Geopolitical Reconfiguration, was organized by the Southern African Institute for Policy and Research in collaboration with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. It brought together key stakeholders to discuss Zambia's positioning amid changing donor strategies and the rise of emerging global actors. As Zambia navigates this complex international terrain, civil society leaders and diplomatic experts are alike calling for bold, inclusive, and strategic reforms to safeguard the nation's future. The government has formally allocated 114 hectares of land for a landmark of 1.1 billion oil refinery project in Ndola. A move expected to reinvigorate the region's industrial profile and attract major investments. Ndola District Commissioner Precious Njekwa, accompanied by local government officials, inspected the site, confirming that the allocated land will also accommodate 2 additional developments, that is a lithium battery manufacturing plant and a power station. Ms. Njekwa said these complementary projects aim to establish Ndola as a thriving industrial hub on the Copperbelt province. She acknowledged the presence of illegal settlers on part of the allocated land and assured the public that measures are underway in collaboration with local authorities to resolve the encroachment swiftly and amicably. She added that ground clearing operations have already commenced, led jointly by the Industrial Development Corporation (IDC) and the Zambia National Service (ZNS), signaling the beginning of preliminary works ahead of construction, which is scheduled to begin in the third quarter of 2025. The district commissioner described the project as a testament to the New Dawn government's commitment to economic transformation under President Hakainde Hichilema, noting that the refinery and its associated developments will contribute significantly to energy security, job creation, and sustainable industrialization. We'll take a break, and when we return, we have more in sports news.
Public Service Pensions Fund, reaching you in all 10 provinces of Zambia. PSPF, keeping the pension promise.
Welcome back, and in sports news, Zambia bowed out of the Continental Futsal Championship 2025 following a close 3-2 defeat to Australia in their final Group B clash at the Central Stadium gym. Despite a spirited performance led by James Mwila, who netted both goals for the Zambian side, Australia narrowly edged the match, converting their chances to secure the win. Mwila's efforts kept Zambia in contention throughout the game, but Australia held firm under pressure. With the loss, Zambia closed their group stage run without a win, having suffered earlier defeats to Belarus 4-0 and Saudi Arabia 5-4. Although the results weren't favorable, the team showed commendable growth across the tournament, with individual performances and tactical improvements becoming evident. Group B included a tough lineup featuring Saudi Arabia, Belarus, Australia, and Zambia, with only the 2 top teams advancing to the semi-finals. Australia rebounded from an opening 1-3 loss to Saudi Arabia, securing victories over Belarus and Zambia to book their spot in the next round. Futsal, a dynamic 5A-side indoor version of football, demands high technical skill, quick movement, and sharp ball control qualities. Zambia's squad continues to sharpen as they gain more international exposure. As the tournament progresses into the knockout round, Zambia departs with renewed experience and eyes on future competition to solidify their place on the global futsal stage. And on that note, we end our news. Before we go, we take a look at the stories. Minister of Mines and Mineral Development, Paul Kabuswe, has reaffirmed the government's commitment to inclusive development, noting the formalization of mining activities while bringing dignity and sustainable prosperity to local residents. The Non-Governmental Gender Organizations Coordinating Council, NGOCC, has issued concerns following the United States decision to withdraw development aid from Zambia, cautioning that the move could severely impact women and girls across the country. The government has formally allocated 114 hectares of land for a landmark of $1.1 billion oil refinery project in Ndola, a move expected to reinvigorate the region's industrial profile and attract major investments. And finally, in sports, Zambia bowed out of the Continental Futsal Championship 2025 following a close 3-2 defeat to Australia in their final Group B clash at the Central Stadium Gym. Thank you for watching and listening. On behalf of the entire news crew and production team, my name is Mwema Shanshima. Stay tuned.
The Midday News on Sun FM was brought to you by the Public Service Pensions Fund, PSPF. Remember to send hi to our WhatsApp line 0770-627-391 to register your account and access all pension services anytime, anywhere. PSPF, keeping the pension promise. Sun Sports TV is